Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most explosive behind-the-scenes dramas of World War II. The day when General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the Supreme Allied Commander, nearly fired Britain's top general, Field Marshal Bernard Law Montgomery. The headline says it all: "You're done, get out." But did Eisenhower really utter those words? And what pushed the patient, diplomatic Ike to the absolute breaking point? This is the story of egos, rivalries, and a coalition on the verge of collapse in January 1945. Let's get into it.
First, let's set the stage with who these men were. Dwight D. Eisenhower, Ike to his friends, was an American general handpicked by President Roosevelt and Prime Minister Churchill to lead the Allied forces in Europe. He wasn't a frontline fighter like Patton or Montgomery. His genius was in strategy, logistics, and, most importantly, holding together a fractious alliance of Americans, Brits, Canadians, and more. Ike was calm, diplomatic, and smoked like a chimney to manage the stress. On the other side, Bernard Law Montgomery, or Monty, the hero of El Alamein in North Africa, where he crushed Rommel's Afrika Korps. Monty was brilliant, methodical, and utterly confident. Some would say arrogant. He wore his trademark beret, spoke in a high-pitched voice, and loved the spotlight. To the British public, he was a superstar, but to many Americans, he came across as condescending and credit-hogging. Their relationship started okay in 1942-43 during the North Africa and Sicily campaigns. Ike respected Monty's tactical skill, and Monty appreciated Ike's overall command, but cracks appeared early. Monty often criticized American planning, and Ike had to mediate between Monty's caution and Patton's aggression.
By 1944, with D-Day looming, tensions rose. Monty commanded the ground forces for the Normandy invasion. He pushed for a massive buildup, and his plan helped make Overlord a success. But after the beaches were secured, the real fights began, not just against the Germans, but over strategy. Monty wanted a narrow thrust, a single, powerful drive through northern Europe to Berlin, led by his 21st Army Group. He argued it would end the war quickly. Ike preferred a broad front advance, pushing everywhere to stretch German defenses thin and avoid risking everything on one gamble. This led to Operation Market Garden in September 1944. Monty's bold plan to seize bridges in Holland with airborne troops and punch into Germany. Ike approved it, diverting resources from other fronts, but it failed disastrously at Arnhem, a bridge too far. Thousands of Allied paratroopers were lost, and the war dragged on. Americans blamed Monty's overconfidence. Brits defended him. Ike was caught in the middle, quietly frustrated but keeping the peace. Then came another flashpoint, clearing the Scheldt estuary to open the vital port of Antwerp. Monty delayed, focusing elsewhere, causing supply shortages. Ike had to threaten him sharply, prioritize it or else. Monty complied, but resentment built. By late 1944, the Allies were advancing, but Hitler had one last surprise.
December 16, 1944. The Germans launched their massive surprise offensive through the Ardennes forest, the Battle of the Bulge. Poor weather grounded Allied air power, and thinly held American lines buckled. The Germans aimed to split the Allies and capture Antwerp. The initial shock was huge. American troops fought heroically. Places like Bastogne became legends, nuts to German surrender demands. Eisenhower acted fast. On December 19th, at a tense meeting in Verdun, he saw opportunity in the crisis. The Germans were exposed, and a counterattack could destroy them. To plug the northern shoulder of the Bulge, Ike made a controversial decision: temporarily place two American armies, the 1st and 9th, under Montgomery's command. This made sense logistically. Monty was closer and had reserves, but it bruised American egos, especially General Omar Bradley's, whose 12th Army Group was split. In the South, Patton's 3rd Army famously turned north in a daring maneuver, relieving Bastogne. Monty took over the north on December 20th. He reorganized defenses, halted the German advance, and prepared a counterattack. His methodical style worked.
the northern shoulder held firm. By early January 1945, the Bulge was contained and Allied counteroffensives began pushing back.
Victory was near, but then came January 7th, 1945, the day everything exploded. Montgomery, at his headquarters in Zonhoven, Belgium, held a press conference for journalists. He spoke for over an hour explaining the battle. He praised the American soldiers' fighting spirit, thanked Eisenhower for giving him command, and stressed Allied teamwork. He said the Germans were beaten by the good fighting qualities of the American soldier and the teamwork of the Allies. But Monty's tone was patronizing. He described how he'd tidied up the battlefield, implied American commanders had been caught off guard, and painted himself as the savior who arrived to sort out the mess. The press ate it up, especially British reporters. Headlines screamed that Monty had saved the Americans. Nazi propaganda minister Goebbels twisted it to sow discord. Across the Atlantic and in American HQs, fury erupted. Generals like Bradley and Patton were livid. They felt Monty was stealing credit and insulting U.S. troops who bore the brunt of the initial attack. Word reached Eisenhower at SHEF headquarters. Ike was enraged. For months, he'd defended Monty against American complaints. Now, this felt like betrayal. That night, Eisenhower drafted a secret cable to the combined chiefs of staff, essentially Monty or me. He demanded Montgomery be relieved of command unless British leaders backed Ike fully. Chief of Imperial General Staff Alan Brooke got wind and rushed to intervene. Churchill spoke in Parliament, praising American efforts and downplaying Monty's role. Monty sent a conciliatory letter to Ike, apologizing for any misunderstanding. The crisis passed. Monty kept his job, but his influence waned. Ike never fully trusted him again.
The Allies pushed on to victory in May 1945. Post-war, Monty remained a British icon, but criticized Ike in memoirs. Ike became president, always diplomatic about the past. This episode shows how fragile the alliance was. National pride, egos, and miscommunications nearly cracked it at the worst moment. Eisenhower didn't literally say, "You're done, get out," but his ultimatum was as close as it got. Ike's patience and diplomacy saved the day again. What do you think? Was Montgomery arrogant or just misunderstood? Could Ike have fired him? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into WW2 command drama, like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more untold stories. Thanks for watching. See you next time.